everyone, welcome to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and today we're doing another indie horror spotlight. Today I have with us, he's a director and writer, and he has several projects out right now. The first one is called HORNED, and then he's also director and writer for a movie that's in pre-production right now, which is called The Hairy Ones. And he's also creating a horror comic series, which is called Patience. I have with us today Jared Brito. Jared, welcome to the Horror Realm.
Hi, thank you. It's awesome to be here.
Thank you, my friend. Jared, you got a lot going on right now, so let's dive into it. Let's tell us a little bit about HORNED.
Well, HORNED is a short film. It's kind of based around some creepypastas ideas that I had, and there's a couple different cuts of it. It's a bit explicit due to the subject matter. It's kind of like a Bloody Mary story, but instead the main character is summoning a succubus, and the two different versions are getting into some festivals. It got into the Trauma Festival, Trauma Dance, which is in New York, I believe, this month, and it'll be in Dan Savage's Hump Film Festival, which is going to tour parts of the world next month.
So there's two different editions of the film. There's
yes,
a gory one and a not so gory one.
It's more of the sexually explicit cut. It's at the core, it's really supposed to just be a horror film, but it does get a little gorier and a little more graphic in other realms in the other version.
So, what gave you the inspiration for the short film?
I'm just constantly having ideas, and I write some down, and sometimes I can't stop thinking about them, and then I start adding details, and pretty soon we have a story. There's a script, and then I'm calling friends, asking, "Hey, do you want to work on this?" And that's how that one came about.
You were saying that there's some graphic scenes in the short film. Now, when you were writing the script and even directing it, were you ever thinking to yourself, "Boy, this might be too far, I should scale back," or were you like, "No, this is the way I wanted it to be"?
Well, I actually seen Dan Savage's film festival before, and I thought like I would love to make something for that. And I did have a job kind of like indirectly working for Larry Flint for about 6 years. So it was just kind of just evolved. Like I wanted to see, it was pretty much an experiment. I wanted to see if I could make a horror film that had all these other things, but if you strip it down just to the horror elements, is it still just a horror movie? And I think it still works as a horror movie without any of that other content.
You say you worked for Larry Flint for 6 years?
Indirectly, yeah. He had a I'm not sure if it's still going, but he had a post-production facility in Boulder for broadcasting, and so yeah, I worked there for 6 years.
What was that like?
It was strange. It's definitely probably the weirdest job I've ever had, but it was fun. It was funny. Great coworkers. It was like sometimes it was kind of like at times making a mixtape with these other scenes, and then you get to come up with a title, write a synopsis for it, which was hilarious. It was such a fun experience. It was a little stressful because of the monthly deadlines to get things on air, but it's fun to like sit back and flip through channels and come across some of ours and be able to see a title you came up with. It's like, that's just ridiculous, that title, and it was a good time.
I was like, what was one title that really sticks out in your mind that you created that you love?
I think my favorite was Busty Bosses Take a Meeting, and meeting was spelled a little differently than your normal corporate America meeting, and that one was fun.
Love it. So, how long did it take from the time of the conception to the actual production wise for HORNED?
For HORNED, I want to say maybe 3 or 4 years, just because like I was still working at that company and had ideas for it. I probably wrote a draft of it, and then it evolved a long time after that. But also casting for such a film was difficult, and the schedules, like getting the producer schedule, my schedule, the actors and the crew and everything. That's always difficult, especially when so many of us have day jobs that we have to work around. But it probably took, I want to say maybe probably 2 years from the time I decided, yeah, we're going to do this to the time we actually got to set.
I can imagine, like, especially when it comes to women actresses, it was probably tough when you saw the script or you told them the idea. I can pretty sure a lot of women actresses were like, "Nah, this is not for me."
We actually didn't even. I mean, at first we'd hoped to talk to some performers who did like who would be willing to, but actually the thing that the way we went about it was like, who is a model on Twitter or Instagram who also has like an OnlyFans page. And ideally, we wanted to find a couple who was willing to, are interested in doing this, and that's what we found. We found a couple who like model on a website, and they hadn't really acted in an actual film before, so it was kind of a new experience for them. It was a new experience for pretty much everyone on the set because we hadn't really worked with anything like that. But at the core, it was a horror movie, and it had like a punchline. It was like a horror comedy, and so it was. I'm pretty sure it was fun for everyone. We made sure everyone was comfortable.
Because it seems like when it comes to indie horror filmmakers, like their scouting grounds now are social media and OnlyFans. That's where a lot of the indie horror actresses are coming from. They're OnlyFans models.
Yeah, I didn't ever think I'd make a film like this. I tend to stick straight to horror, but seeing the success of this one has made us think like, let's do another one next year. And we're thinking about comedy. There might be one with like some puppets, like just some silly things. Like I don't know. We're just having fun with it.
Love it. All right, and you're also in pre-production on another project right now, and that's called The Hairy Ones. Tell us a little bit about that.
So that one is, and if talking to me so far hasn't clued you into this, like I like to just mix it up with genres and really have fun with different ideas. The Hairy Ones is a cryptid movie. It's about essentially Bigfoot and maybe some other forest creatures. And it's a story about the protagonist is a gay man, and it's like when it gets talked about, they call it the gay Bigfoot movie. So I think people assume that our Bigfoot is gay, which is not the case. But we did have some fun with that. We released a teaser trailer parodying the actual movie that we haven't made yet, called The Hairy Twos: Bigfoot in the Big City, where Bigfoot gets in a relationship with another man. But The Hairy Ones is a strictly horror. It's like kind of a fantasy horror. And we're going to be shooting in South Carolina. It might be a couple of years down the road, but we've already shot some scenes for like a sizzle reel type thing. And yeah, I'm hoping we can get that out sooner than later because that should be a fun one. Nice.
Now, what part of South Carolina are you planning on shooting?
I'm not sure. My co-writer, Aaron Whitrock, it was this whole Harry Ones was his idea, and Harry Twos as well. Very talented writer. He's got some property out there, and we're just going to use kind of the woods as a backdrop, like some of his property. And I know there's some other locations that he's found that he wants to do. That are not necessarily like in his backyard, but are in the area. It should be interesting.
Now, do you believe personally? Do you believe in Bigfoot?
Yeah, I think so. It's hard to with no credible evidence. But I'll sit there and watch some of the things on TV. Like I know they're not going to find him in this episode. But I'll hear them out. Like maybe they have an interesting theory that I haven't heard before. I think it's fun to think about. I just hope we don't run into him on set.
Exactly right. Because I mean, at this point, for us as humans to believe that, we almost have to see it. And like but it goes with everything. I don't know. We have to see proof and evidence that in order, I'm doing this whole series about this horror contest as a scam, and I'm getting so many people who are saying, "Well, I need actual, concrete, real proof that it's a scam," and I'm like, but it's right in front of you that's a scam. Like, what else? Do you need the people who are running the scam to actually get on camera and say, by the way, everyone, this is a scam? Like, like, okay. But it seems like as humans, like, we need concrete proof that, hey, I need to see Bigfoot in a cage or something.
Yeah, I agree with that. And even with the scam, like people really believe what they want to believe, and there's kind of no changing their mind, even when, like, the people who are running the scam could break it down for them, and they probably would still believe that. But I
Yeah.
mean, you think about like things like the UFOs and the what is it now, UAP? Is that what they're calling it now? Um, 20 years ago, the government would have said anything about it. They wouldn't have released anything, and now they're having these, everything's kind of out there, so it kind of gives us more to think about, or maybe they're misdirecting it. I don't know. Try not to get too into the conspiracy theories, but who's to say that there won't be some kind of evidence that the government drops in 10 years that say, okay, we've had some experiences. Here they are. I don't know.
Because I mean, I definitely believe in aliens. I mean, not to the point where like some people do, but I believe it over Bigfoot. I believe in it because human beings are not that intelligent, right? I'm including myself in that. Like, we like to think we're intelligent, but like some of the stuff that I see, like especially like we're talking, we're in two different states. We're talking to each other. Smartphones, internet, cars. Like, I've never came across a human being that was that intelligent to put something like that together. And I'm like, this is some technology from a being that's way more advanced than us.
And I think the universe is too vast for us to be so naive that we can't accept the possibility. Like, there's got to be something. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I'm a believer.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they're green and this and that, but there's something else out there that has to be. It has to be. It really does has to be. Now, next I want to talk about something that I love, and it's something that you're doing. I am a huge comic fan. I love graphic novels, comics, and grew up on them. And you're doing a comic book series that's called Patience. Tell us a little bit about that.
So Patient, and like you, I'm a huge comic fan. Grew up with them. I think that's how I learned to read. I remember like some of the editors' comments from comic books when I was like maybe 4 years old. Like I can still visualize them. So yeah, some of the screenplays that I had written that didn't really go anywhere. I thought, like, what else can I do with them? Like, sometimes you have something that you just don't want to forget about. Like, what else can I do with it? So I took an idea. It's actually kind of based on a true story. I was at a clinic and all of these things were happening around me, and I had like heavy anxiety. I wasn't medicated yet, and it was just. I thought this would make a great scene in a movie, and so like I kind of built a movie, like a script around that, and it didn't go anywhere. But I still saw it so vividly visually that I wanted to put it on paper and see what I could do with it. So I broke it down into 6 issues, and it's kind of formatted like a movie, like structured like a film. So not a ton happens in the first one, but you get to meet everybody, and then it kind of ends on an incident that'll carry you through to the next issue. I found a artist in Argentina named Martin Jimenez, and really an artist. Like, it was just a process of me going through all these different artists that I could find online, their Instagrams and such, trying to figure out like what fits the style of this that I could see it cinematically. And he was the only one that really stood out for me. So contacted him. He took the job. We're about halfway through the art on the first issue, and I don't think we speak each other's languages so well. There's like some kind of
Very
sometimes yeah, we don't necessarily always understand what we're talking about with each other, but yeah, it's been a great collaboration. Like he's brilliant. I can't say enough good things about the art that he sent me so far.
So that's awesome. Now, um, was it hard to make? There's definitely a difference between script writing and comic book writing. Because script writing, you're writing towards an actual visual, some acting or set in a movie. Was it tough from going from that to writing for an actual comic book, where now you have to be a little more descriptive?
Yes, I found that out right away. It's like I think I would rank it like screenplays or because everyone can interpret their own thing, they can put their own thing into it because it's such a collaborative process. And then writing a stage play is a lot more descriptive, and people don't take as many liberties with the stage play. I think like they're so committed to the word to make all of these things work. And then the comic book is just so many, like you're kind of directing the film while writing the comic. And
Hmm.
there's like I think for the first issue, 22 page comic, the script was like maybe 50 or 60 pages long because
Wow.
I mean, I really like Brian Michael Bendis comics. Like he can
Hmm.
have like two people talking in a coffee shop for the entire issue, and not a whole lot of action might happen, but man, I'm just hooked on like every word is
Yep.
important. Everything is um, so like I think I probably wrote a little more like that, but also yeah, I probably I don't know I might have put too much in there. I'll have to talk to Martine and see if I drove him crazy at some point. But yeah, I think it was much more difficult.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. I mean, I give huge props to all hard graders, but the comic. I mean, it is such a competitive field, and it's one of those fields where, like, the big three are up here, and then the little guys are way down here. I mean, so it's a hard fight.
I think yeah, I think trying to get writing anywhere, especially if you don't have connections. I'm not New York or LA, so the people that I've been able to work with in the past, like the film I wrote, Adeline, the filmmakers in that are in San Diego, and Volumes of Blood 3, Blood Moon Pictures there in Kentucky. I'm working with some people who are like in the UK right now on some stuff. And then there's Patient, I'm working with an artist in Argentina. It's like I don't have, like, I have to kind of build all of these connections one by one. And I think, like, any writer who's going through the same thing, like, if people locally aren't loving it, just try other avenues. Like, there's
Yeah.
probably somebody who'll see things your way somewhere.
Now, how do you find time? I mean, you're screenwriting for other filmmakers' work. You're doing your own projects and doing your own comic series. You're doing short films. How do you maintain all that? How are you able to juggle all these projects at once?
I like to think I'm very organized, and I don't sleep as much as I'd like to or probably should.
I'm the same way.
It's like one thing to another. Like I didn't plan on doing this in a Starbucks, but I had like prior meetings that I had to do, and like some things. It's just trying to put everything, make everything fit, and do the best I can with them. That's about it. I'm working with an escape room now, so like when I'm not doing that, I'm writing a chapter of their escape room. When I'm not doing that, I'm doing this stuff. It's just can't stop. Like
Keep
I'm
it
afraid to
busy.
slow down.
I don't blame you. I'm the same way, man. I rarely sleep because I'm constantly, I have a full time job and then family life and personal life and then YouTube channel, trying to think of new ideas.
And you crank out so many good quality episodes. Like
Thank you, man.
you're very consistent. I love it.
Thank you, man. I don't take a day off, man. I don't take a day off. All right, Jared, where can everyone find you and your work?
Sharp Spoon Pictures is my Instagram. There's usually updates about the comic, how Horned is doing, and like any other projects I'm working on. There's Facebook. I don't use that too often. The Hump Festival for anyone over 18 or maybe 21, I think. That's going to travel, so people can look up the city they're in or the country they're in and see if that's there.
What's that called
Um,
again?
the Hump Film Festival.
The Hump Film Festival. Is that
Yes.
coming to the East Coast?
Oh yeah, yeah. I think they have multiple dates for the East and West Coast. It's going to be in Germany. It's going to be in the Netherlands. Yeah, a whole bunch of different cities.
Okay.
It might be an awkward watch for some people, but they also stream it online as well. So there's
Okay.
that.
The Hump
But
Festival. Okay.
yeah, pretty much Instagram's probably the best way. I think I have about 6 followers, but I do respond to comments if anybody has anything to say about the stuff. So,
Love
and I
it.
love to collaborate. So, of course, I take on more projects than I can handle, but I still get them done, and I do the best that I can with them. So, other filmmakers,
Definitely hit my man Jared up. Jared, by the way, when the comic is ready, man, make sure I get a copy because I would like to read it, and I'd like to have you back on and talk about it, man.
I would love to. I will send you a copy, and yeah, I would love to come back.
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for
All right,
having me on.
no problem. And listen, everybody, please follow Jared. Check out some of his work and check out some of his new work that's coming up as well. And filmmakers, listen, you need a good screenwriter, hit this man up. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for coming to the Horror Realm. I'm Travis Bruce, and that is Jared Brito. We'll see you next time. Take care.